We're back in Uncle Harold's shed. What I'd like to do is, remember last time we were here, we were trying to get an image of your automatic feed.
Oh yes, yes.
So
yes.
let me just
yes. By the way, you know when you talked about flywheel,
yes.
Well, of course that's handy for setting this, but also because the motion is arrested backwards and forwards, that flywheel is good because it keeps the motion going.
Yes, right, keeps the momentum going.
You're going backwards and forwards, so there's like an interruption in the. So if you keep the flywheel going, it smooths it out.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a bit of engineering, is that, you know?
Those whole things with shapers where it's quicker to go backwards than go forwards.
It's a fast return motion.
Fast return.
And it's only simply because of the you've got a wheel with a slot in and you've got an arm. And as you come round the arm, it's a long way, and then as you go back, it's quicker. Yes. That's what it is.
Right.
You see, when you're putting your load on, you're pushing at the end of the arm, which gives it more power.
Right.
But when you're coming back, you're coming at the bottom, which doesn't need the power, but it's going back faster.
Yeah. I've seen a diagram of this, and it is quite so easy when you see it, but when you try and think about it,
it's just common sense.
Yeah.
And it's the age-old way of doing it.
Well, what's the point of it going back at the same speed?
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's the age-old way of doing it. But it just automatically, by harnessing it that way, it does it.
Yeah. It's brilliant, isn't it? Yes.
It was probably just by accident it worked out.
Well, I suspect somebody thought about it for a long time and maybe messed about with rulers and pencils on the kitchen table. Yeah. Maybe a pot of jam was involved as well. Yeah. Can we put that?
By the way, what I never told you last time. See that screw there?
Which screw there?
There's some screw. That table will lift up and down for higher work.
Oh, I see, down there.
Work. See,
that huge big thready bolt there, yes.
If you do something tall.
Yeah.
And what it amounts to, in fact there's a key, and there's 2 screws in there as well that you have to loosen.
Right.
And then you just wind it down and lock it again.
And that's lowering the whole table.
That's right.
Yes. Which of course there
should be a screw somewhere for lowering it down, but I've forgotten where it is.
Yeah.
It's there under there.
All right. But that involves all the drive mechanism as well, doesn't it?
Well, that all lowers, but it still works. It's still within the range of this arm here. You see. Yeah.
So what I wanted to see is this mechanism working properly, because on the last video we really didn't show it properly. We couldn't get the light to it.
Well, this is now traversing that.
Yes, we can see that.
It can be changed over, come back to traverse back the other way.
So let's just see the ratchet, if we can get the ratchet. I can see it now. That's perfect, and we've got a lot better light this time.
What do you want now then?
I can just see it. No, it's all right.
Now it's going the other way now, look. Traversing the other way now, look. So it's just automatic, you just put the job in.
Right. Can we go the other way again, please? I see, you just push that lever and then you got forward and reverse. There's the ratchet, just working. It's just pulling backwards, just bouncing across the teeth and then pushing.
Just that nice fine cut.
Yes.
And you can go right along the job and then reverse it back the other way.
Yeah. So you said you made this when you were an apprentice, didn't you?
When I was an apprentice this was made,
yes. So it was difficult times when you were an apprentice, wasn't it?
Sorry?
It was difficult times when you were an apprentice,
wasn't it?
Yeah, wasn't it just...
There were no machinery to buy, just if you wanted it, you made it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And of course that was at the start of the war, wasn't it?
Yes, I started, just as the war broke out, that's when I started my apprenticeship.
Right, and did that affect you being an apprentice?
No. Well, in fact it helped, because a lot of the men had been called up.
Yeah.
And I went as an apprentice, and I was doing a man's job before my apprenticeship was over.
And how did you cope with that?
I was taking on big contracts as an apprentice.
I know you'd had years of experience in your own workshop and in your own shed, and you got thrown at the deep end.
I don't It was just a natural thing to do to make these things.
Yeah. And what was the works that you worked at?
Yeah, I was in the maintenance department. It was a big firm with over 1,000 employees.
Right.
Yeah.
I know you said you had there was a little steam shunting engine.
Oh yeah, there were two actually, locals.
Yeah.
We used to maintain those. And in fact I would be the only one with an apprentice working on a Saturday afternoon and Sunday on the maintenance of those in a big factory like that. We'd make shells as well as doing the products that they sold.
Oh yeah. And what was that engine used for then?
For shunting up and down the yard, because in those days everything went by rail.
Yeah, should we switch that off? Yeah.
In everything, in those days, though big products, heavy, everything went by rail. So we had all the yards set up with rails, railway lines. We had steam cranes and everything.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Steam cranes, local, big steam engine to drive the works.
Yeah.
You know, with a 20-foot flywheel type of thing.
Ah.
Big massive thing.
That was running a line shaft.
We had all steam pumps and whatnot.
Yeah.
It was all steam.
Right.
Hydraulic. We had loads of hydraulics. Steam, hydraulics and compressed air.
Right. And of course the compressed air was produced by steam, was it?
By steam.
Yes.
Well, a lot of it was produced by electric motors actually.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, one big compressor was driven off the big engine.
Yeah.
With a massive flywheel. But then compressors around the works to serve smaller areas were driven by electric motors.
Oh. And so was this little steam shunting engine?
Oh yeah.
Was there a lot of maintenance on that then?
Not a right lot really, but it often used to come off the rails. We had loads of sharp bends within the works, and it was known to come off the rails, and so we had to set to and jack it back on.
Right.
As a regular thing.
So was it narrow gauge then?
No, it was full railway gauge.
Oh, was it?
Because it had to take the trucks out onto the main line.
Oh, right. So it was quite a big heavy engine then?
Oh, yeah.
40, 50 tons at least?
Oh, no, it wasn't that big.
No.
It was small in comparison because within the yard we had sharp bends.
Yeah.
And you could only have a small wheelbase to get around sharp bends.
Yeah.
So it did the job.
Right.
I mean, it could take a train of wagons.
Oh, right.
And to get the wagons on the main line, they had to be pushed onto a turntable.
Yeah.
To then go on the sidings.
Yeah.
To be fed onto the main line.
So you could only put a few trucks on at a time.
Yeah.
And did this?
But they could be shunted by the cranes or by the locos.
Right.
Because the cranes had to lift the stuff onto the trucks.
Yes.
And then that would perhaps shunt them onto the lines.
Yeah.
And then the loco would probably then take up the lines to get them into the main area. To
be picked up by whatever.
Yeah.
And
of course there were loads of other works down the yard, and our loco served all their trucks as well, their wagons as well.
So it had a dedicated driver then? It had It had one driver.
It had one driver. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I imagine so. It was running a lot of the time during the week.
Oh yes, it was running all the week.
Right.
Yes. Oh, first thing in the morning, the driver would come and light the fire, or the shunter man would come and light the fire, and then they'd sit around for a couple of hours while it all got steam up, and then they'd take it out.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they'd knock off at lunchtime, just as part of their shunting operation. Yeah. And they were at it all day, for 5 days a week. Right. They weren't there on Saturdays.
Yeah. So did they light the fire every morning then?
Every morning, oh yes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, it was still warm from the day before.
Ah, yeah.
But it needed stoking up to get the steam up to pressure.
Yeah. And so obviously there's all the oiling of all the bearings and everything, filling all the little hoppers up with oil every morning.
Well, yeah, the local driver saw to that, you see, because he had a routine of what to do as a routine maintenance. But we had to maintain that everything was in order. Because
it was vital to the whole thing.
Oh,
if you couldn't move your trucks.
Because everything was done on wagons. And that had to be moved around.
Right.
And stuff was going out.
And it was all heavy stuff, as you said.
Oh yeah, in fact when I was in India, we went into Bombay, and in the sidings in Bombay there were all our products stood on trucks,
yes.
on railway wagons.
Right.
I was amazed to see them all there.
When were you in India then?
1944 and 5.
So that was the tail end of the war then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were waiting to go into Japan, and they packed it in.
Did they?
So thank God they're finished.
With that, we'll leave it. Thank you very much, Harold. That's brilliant.
Have you recorded all that?
Yeah, so last time Harold was talking about machining a keyway with a drill bit and in the lathe, and he was just telling me about a few little tips to make sure that it runs smoothly. Away you go, Harold.
Well, the simple way to do a keyway in a machine like this is to take this toolbox off and put a clamping plate on, and put your job then, your shaft that you want to do the keyway into the clamping plate and clamp it up. Make sure that the centre of the shaft is lined up with the centre of the chuck. Put your flat bottom drill in the chuck, and then feed this up, or drill a small hole in the just the depth of the keyway in the shaft, and then feed this up until you've got the drill just into the hole, and then set the machine going and just traverse along at a nice steady pace, just watching the cut, and go right the full length of the keyway you wish to do. Come back, put a slight more cut on, and go until you've got the full depth of the keyway. Right. There we are. A very simple way to do a keyway.
Why do you start off in a hole?
Well, if you don't start off in a hole, you'll find that the drill, being flexible, tends to lift and doesn't cut the keyway in the centre of the shaft. And basically that's what you want it in the centre. So the small hole starts the keyway in the right position, and then the cut just comes along at that level. It's as simple as that.
Alright, so it holds the drill or the cutter where you want it to be.
It centres the cutter and it holds it in that position.
Brilliant.
The cutter continues then to cut in at that level.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thanks very much for that extra little tip.
So that's a simple way of doing things.